My space, your space. Your space, my space. Our space. One space, love. My space, your space. Your space, my space. Our space.
One Space Love podcast for the love of music, lifestyle and well-being while caring for our planet. On this podcast, I will be chatting with musicians, artists and creative minds that are living life on purpose while doing what they love.
Your space, my space. Our space. One space, love. One space, love. One space, love.
You're listening to One Space Love podcast and I'm your host, Stephanie Pappas.
One space, love.
Kate Williams, I thought I'd have you on. I'd say the best friend that I have, best girlfriend, and you were my very first One Space Love podcast. So I was just a virgin when we popped that cherry. And I'm starting now with, the Whisper of You and other close friends to do Steph Talks every Friday where we kind of wrap it up and we just have a candid chat. So I wanted to have you on as a woman that I love and admire and just have you on today and let's just have a chat. So, yeah, have you been? You're down in Melbourne at the moment.
Yeah, and we've just received the news that there's an extension on the lockdown, and that's having a lot of effect on a lot of people, and it's very real effects, and there's very real things going on for a lot of people, and a lot of people are finding the circumstances quite difficult to cope with. So I guess it's about for me it's been using this time adequately as a time of reflection, I guess, and going inward. Like, what is it? I always ask myself, what is it that the universe is asking of me right now? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. I can't change it. I can't make it not be here. So, what is the universe asking of me? And it's asking me to be still. And it's asking me to have time alone, and it's asking me to be quiet. And so in that, I'm going into myself even deeper. I've extended my meditation practice to longer periods of time. And it's been really quite profound and amazing experience for me. And the sense of connection I have with the greater universe, the cosmos, has been expanded and deepened, and my awareness of who I am, and the construct of time and reality, and I don't know, asking those big questions about what is reality and who am I, and all of that always surfaces up.
Yeah, because I've had a few bumps in the road today in my experiences around the COVID, and it really is about us not letting us wobble us and bringing us back into that space of fear. I just had some instances with the school, and it's just about us reminding ourselves, because it does send you off in a bit of anxiety and panic, and you can go back into that thought of fear, and it's just coming back to that center. And I love how you explain it, just coming back and expanding that connection so that we can operate from a space of what it is we are here to do each day, and be guided by that inner voice, inner knowing, So let's go in, because I've had some interesting chats. We didn't plan to have this chat today. We were going to have it later in the week. And it's interesting how many people I'm able to hold space at the moment, because I'm feeling like I'm more and more able to get back to alignment. I'm getting woken up quite early to meditate at the moment. I'm just, all of a sudden I'm awake, and sometimes I even actually go back to sleep because I'm still tired, but I will be up before the sun rises with the birds, in the background, and I have to sit up and do that meditation. Not that I have to, but I'm being guided to do that. But there's a lot of people that are getting pulled into story and pain and drama. And even into other people's drama and story, they're getting quickly pulled in, because there's a lot of people faced with some incredible paths that they didn't imagine to be faced on, with, you know, work circumstances, relationships breaking down because they're in confined places. And so we're constantly being reminded, aren't we, that there is a story and there's an ego, and then there's detaching from that and not looking outwards and blaming, and to actually come back into that connection, which sounds simple. But yeah.
Well, we get attached to things and the way we think things need to be, depending on our circumstances. We have this idea and this concept of, this is the way I would like things to be. This is, you know, what I like, or, you know, what I need. And with those experiences, when things start to change, it becomes really tricky. You know, it starts bringing up a lot of emotions because, you know, things are moving. But the thing I've found is that there's always something bigger moving through us than we at this time have the capacity to see or to understand. Yep. There's something so big and so profound that is moving through you, that is asking you to let go of these things that you feel or think that you need at this time, which are very important. I'm not saying they're not important, but there's a greater awareness. There's a greater movement going on. Oh, sorry, I have a new puppy and she's very
I know.
She's been sitting still. I've been doing readings for people all day. So maybe I need to bring her up.
Bring her up on your lap and let's say hello. Oh. Hello, Lola. How are you?
Lola.
Hello.
Anyway.
Little spirit doggy.
So this greater, there's something greater awakening in you that is being called to service. And if you allow the universe to show you the way, if you allow that which you're holding on to crumble, and you allow it to let go, and you ask yourself, what can I do? Where can I move?
Yep.
Where is my energy being called to right now? You'll find that there's a doorway and an opening that's been shown to you. But it's sometimes really hard to look up and look out that little side window, because we're so attached to this understanding it's in front of us of what we think we need and who we think we are and what we feel at this time is important. And there's circumstances that have been brought to you in order to crack you open so that you can see a bigger part of yourself than you've ever been able to see before, and to bring something far greater to the world than, you know, you were able to see in this little circle of life that you had constructed for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, when I woke up this morning and what I had planned to set out for the next 3 days very quickly got changed in one moment, one episode through this phone call from the school. My week very quickly would have turned into disaster. But I caught myself in that moment and I went, I'm not going to choose to see this as drama. I'm not going to choose to see this as a problem. Yeah. I'm just going to sit and pick up my children and go home and sit with it and then be guided what it is I need to do next. And it literally was like, text this person, call this person, do this, you know, and my whole week shifted and shuffled how it was meant to fall into place. And I don't need to share that personally to everyone, but it was more that once you surrender and don't control the, you know, and this is a conversation I get in a lot about. To run a business, we have to plan, but then there's to allow grace in, we need to surrender. So it's about how would you give guidance of how we find that balance within, you know, obviously you have to plan your clients. I have to plan my interviews and I plan when my show comes out of my editing and I plan to feed my children. How do you share that we need to still find that grace and flow for the miracles and the guidance to take us, you know, fluidly where we need to go in the moments?
Well, I always start back with my center. Whenever I feel off, whenever I feel unsure, whenever I don't know which direction to go, I always stop and, well, I was going to say stand still, but it's be still and very still, in meditation. And then I ask, what is it that you will have of me now? Where is it I need to go? Who is it I need to speak to? Show me the way.
Yeah.
And then I often journal, but it's more automatic writing. So I'm writing directly from spirit, and it will give me direction, and it will show me who to call. Someone will pop in my mind, a feeling will come to me, an inspiration, or else it'll just say clean house, maybe, what I mean? Because everything's really messy. And so then you need to reorganize, and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to clean. And then while you're cleaning, you clean the bookshelf, a book falls out, or phone rings and the person that you did think of before but you didn't call, they've already called you. Do you know what I mean? And then you have a set agenda of what you want. You need this many clients to survive, or you need this amount of money, but you don't frame it so exactly. You don't say, I need this person, I need to talk to this person, or you know what I mean?
I need to see this person on this day.
No, this is the outcome that I want. This is the feeling of the outcome that I want. It's all about the feeling more. And so you start to live by your feelings, and then your feelings become clearer and clearer, and you get, really strong feelings. And when you're trying to do something, if the door's not opening, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're like, no, there's a lot of resistance here. This door is not opening. And so you trust that. And so then you let go. And so then you ask, well, you know what I mean? Like, where is it feeling open for me right now? What is opening for me? And if you have a clear intention of, the general outcome that you want, and you are taking time to practice and be in serenity and be open to grace, for me it's in meditation, then when you come out of it after having that distinct knowingness of what it is you're trying to create, the right outcome will start to appear. The next person you need to speak to, and that person you're speaking to, you're directed to talk to, may then pass you on to someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not necessarily, it's sort of a follow the yellow brick road kind of experience. It's not necessarily a direct line to the direct outcome. Do you know what I mean? And so you need to participate in that journey of life. It's like a dance. So you have a sort of outcome, like for you, do you know what I mean? Like, you've got a certain amount of podcasts that you want to create, you know what I mean? And so you sort of set that up, but you have a big agenda, and you're working with the universe, and you're knowing that it's giving you the next message as you need it. And sometimes it's only 3 messages at a time. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't give you you know what I mean? You don't get to see the end result. But if you take those first 3 steps that it's given you, that person to call, that cupboard to sort out, or whatever, do you know what I mean? You will find the next piece while you're doing that, one of those 3 jobs. Yeah. It's like magic. It literally just will appear in front of you. And it's really, which came up a lot today with the people I'm working with, trust is just magic. It's trusting that the outcome will appear, even though it looks like the circumstances are dire straight, even though it looks like you're stepping off the cliff and you're stepping into just wide open space, and it just, for your logical mind, seems completely inconceivable. We're coming to a time now in the universe where we have an understanding in our mind, like our logical minds, that there is a universal force, that we have guides, we have angels, you know what I mean? And that's a concept. But the actual reality of going, okay, I really know, it's a knowingness. I know that they're there. I know that it's got, support, all the support that I need. And I know that if I step into this wilderness, if I step into this void of not knowing what the outcome is, the guidance I need from the universe will be there to connect me at the exact moment that it's needed. And if I trust my feelings, you know what I mean? You hone in on them, and you're really, perceptive of how you're feeling, you'll always get given the right guidance.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's really well said. Because I was in another conversation with someone today, and their body, they're in a job that they thought was the job for them. Their partner's leaving the area and has to go down interstate for a job, but they're getting physical symptoms in this job, and it felt to me like perhaps their body is telling them that their job is quite mechanical. It's quite an everyday job. And I know this person has a particular passion that they've forgotten from when they were younger. Mm-hmm. And so I was just, holding space for the friend this morning, but also saying, perhaps there's something that your body's trying to tell you. And perhaps there's what do you love doing? And they started to go on about, well, I used to do photography and play electric guitar and, go into what they were loving. And I was like, wow, okay. So where do you see yourself? And they'd vision where their home would be, but they couldn't see how to get out of where they are to where they want to be. It seemed like an impossible task.
Yeah.
That's a common story, right? And another conversation I had with someone, they're in today as well, they're in a relationship and it's, they're just really trapped, really unhappy, and during this experience, especially, they're right on top of each other and they just can't see how to get out. So what would you guide people in those situations, in these times, especially that they have little awarenesses where they start to recognize, oh, I was fulfilled when I was doing photography, but I'm in this job, it's paying the bills, I'm paying off a mortgage. How do you feel that they shift with your clients that you have? And,
Yeah. So it's recognizing that first step, like you said, recognizing that where you are is not the happiness that you want.
Yes.
So that's the first gift that is given to you. And you take that moment of awareness and then you ask yourself, when was a moment maybe in your life that you were happy and you were fulfilled, and you can reflect on that. But even if you feel like in your life you've never had that moment, that's okay too, because there's this magical thing inside us. You know what happiness is. And you know what it feels like deep down inside you. So take time to start making a list of all the things you adore and love. What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What's your favorite smell? What's your favorite, painting, like anything, music, sounds, and start creating a list and start enveloping yourself with all these things you love, because you will have lost contact with who it is that you are and what your soul calls for. And then start to take time and space for yourself to be quiet and reflect on these things that you love, and start to focus and create a picture in your mind of how you want your life to be. But you have to start feeling it like it's with you now. You know what I mean? You're there now, you're sipping your tea, looking out over the view that you can see, and make the picture as real and as strong, and the feelings and emotions as strong as you can, so that you're like kind of enveloping yourself, like as if you were completely engrossed in a movie. But it's about the life you want to create for yourself. So stop reflecting on and paying attention to, when your eyes are open and you're in this 3D life that you're living that isn't where you want to be. That. This isn't where you want to be. And so don't pay attention to what it is that is not serving you. Don't pay attention to the things that are making you not feel good, because you're just going to recreate that experience over and over again. So what you want to do is take time out from this life that you're not enjoying, close your eyes and start to make this movie. And you can make it in way cool things. You can set up a Pinterest board. You can, create a vision board.
I did my vision board yesterday. So yesterday I decluttered my house, and we were joking as girlfriends because it's something that's a regular thing for me, like a monthly exercise. But anytime I feel that clutter within myself, I have to go and reassess and make more space in my surroundings. But also doing that, I found my old photos that I had printed to make a storyboard in my last house of the vision that I was visioning for One Space Love, and also for my living lifestyle. And I put the board out that I remember you and I chatted about buying around December, and I finally got the foam board out and I started putting all the pictures down. And just to see it visually, it helps when you're sitting in that meditation to be able to, I think I inspired you to do a vision board back in.
Yeah. I love your little idea with a little, I love the borders. I've got the white borders around my pictures that you print out. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I'll share with everyone how I print them because they're very simple. I just do it. It came up, but it's so beautiful to visually see how to create what is your visioning to create. And to call it in by seeing it there in your room. You know, we used to talk, you know, it was big to talk about manifesting. And I think the missing thing that we're now talking about is to sit in that feeling, in the meditation, in that seat of the soul, and bring that manifesting in. It's different than looking externally, isn't it? There's a different, what we were talking about manifesting all the time, but there was a seed missing, yeah?
Yeah, well, it's knowing that it's here with you now.
Yeah.
Literally, like your hand is open and you are receiving it, like literally someone is putting an apple right in your hand right now and you're holding it and you're taking a bite. It's like, it's the knowing that it's here now. That's the part that's really, you know, amazing, and not wanting it to happen or wishing for it or dreaming about it. It's not over there. It's not something external that's over there. It's something that is incredibly deeply feeling experience that is happening with you now in this moment. And, you know, even my puppy Lola, who's run off again, but she was on my board, but you know what I mean? Like I visualized myself patting her every night, and you know what I mean? Like all the, you know, and you can start collecting the things. So it's like you're living the future now.
Embodying it and living it now. So for anyone, you know, pulling it back to anyone that is in that situation where they can't see how to get from here to there, you know, what Kate is saying is to start to feel it now. Don't worry about the steps of how to get there, just to create space in your life to find that stillness, that connection to the seat of the soul, and to start visualizing it. And I love what you said in one of our conversations in our weekly or daily catch-ups as friends, but you were saying how, and we won't go into the details, but just how our mind can be seeing with blinkers on, you know, the potential. If we want to see from going from A to B, we might see that B is this small, but when we surrender and we actually take those blinkers off, we surrender to what B is going to be and how we get to B, and we surrender to grace and the miracles. And that is really empowering. Like when we're able to go, my mind is too small to figure out how I will get to B. So I'm going to take the blinkers off and I'm going to sit here and trust. And it's not about doing nothing. You have to take action, because by taking action, you are sitting still and you're paying attention to the points that are getting you to part B. Yeah.
And the trust, like you said, is just such a massive part of it. It's actually trusting that there is an energy, there is a universal force out there that has
your highest interest.
Your highest and best interests and best needs. And although what appears to be tragic circumstances are appearing in front of your eyes right now, and that your trust has been taken away, you know, and you know, you can be quite angry or upset, but it's like that's where faith and trust and all that, you know what I mean? Often when people are brought to their knees, you know, that's when you look up to the heavens and ask for something, you know, please help me. I'm in this, you know, experience. And often the universe does have to bring you to your knees to get you to ask those, you know, for guidance and for help. And
coming to our knees, we often say, help, you know, I don't know what to do. Please show me a sign. And we often look up with our hand, please show me a sign, help. I give up, I surrender. But there is such truth in, there is, you know, there is a point of that, because it is about putting your hands up and saying, I need help, like to the universe, to that source, to that greater power that is within us all, that guru that lies within us all. Yeah.
And then when it becomes a part of you, and instead of believing or hoping that there's something out there that can help you, you just know, and you just know that it's what you need is coming to you.
Yeah.
And that's the true trust, and it's a part of yourself. It's who you are. You, like you said, the guru within you, have that guidance within you, but it's really quiet.
Yeah.
And it's really subtle. You have to be really still to notice it. And at first it'll feel like, you know, you're just imagining it. Did I just imagine that sensation or that hunch, or there's someone that's on my mind, you know, vaguely, that just sort of flickers in or whatever, you know what I mean? It's not like some big, you know,
fireworks.
You know,
you are going to move to London and you're going to work in fashion and you will marry. And that is it. And so it is. No, it's not like that.
Very, very quiet and very, very subtle. And you have to learn to just go, I think I just felt something. And you're like, well, you did, you know what I mean? And then the quieter you are and the stiller you are and the more you listen, then the louder it gets, you know what I mean? It's like any relationship you have with anybody, you know, when you begin a friendship, it's sort of small and quiet to begin with, but the more attention you know, and the more time you give it, the more it develops and the more it grows.
Yeah,
and,
that's beautiful. Yeah.
So anything, what your soul, the answer to that question again too, what your soul is yearning for is very real. And your awareness and knowingness that what you're going through right now doesn't feel right is very real. And you need to trust and honor your feelings and know that this isn't right, and that there is something greater calling you. Especially
when the body shows symptoms, isn't it?
Well, that's the last straw. That's where it's been condensed in your body. You know, everything's energy, and the energy has been in your body for such a long time that it's starting to condense and create physical form.
And often that's, you know, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. So I'm going to put pressure on the physical body. Yeah.
Well, if you don't listen to the small, quiet little messages, the messages sort of get a little bit louder.
Yeah. May come like
until you
train.
don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah.
It can get very uncomfortable.
Well, we've all experienced that. Well, let's wrap it up. And it's so beautiful to have you on this little episode of Steph Talks, and I will have you on again. Kate is featured on the One Space website, onespace.love, as one of the people I love. And I highly recommend, let's just give you a little point of attention here of, you're very busy with clients at the moment. Can you just finish up by sharing, you know, how people can book in and what it is you do with them? So we can share that. Yeah.
I am a channel and I talk with spirit, and the guidance I receive is mainly direct about people's life purpose, what their gifts are and what they're here to do. I can answer any questions, but mainly it's all around your purpose and what your soul was born to do. And yeah, I love just being able to help guide people and give them the, you know, direction that they need and help them understand what their soul's purpose and calling really is. So if that's something that really resonates with you, or something that you feel like you'd like to know more about, my website is www.katewilliams.com.au, and I've got some more information on there, and you can book right in on my website.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Kate, for your time today. I know you've been busy and you fitted me in, so thank you so much. And look forward to having you on again.
I wanted to be your friend, and I'm so excited for you and this journey we're all going to go on together. And it's very, very amazing, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
My space, your space. We all space, my space. Our space, one space love. My space, your space. Your space, my space. Our space. My space, your space. Your space, my space. Our space. Whoa, space, love. My space, your space. Your space, my space. Our space. Whoa, space, love. Whoa, space, love. Whoa, space, love.